Hello everyone, this is Caleb here. I want to welcome you guys to this live stream tonight. Today's live stream is titled The Future of Kings Island. Tonight we're going to be discussing the future of my home park, Kings Island. We're going to discuss what they did the last 5 years. We're going to also do a 5-year plan for the next 5 years. We're also going to look at some coasters they can add in the future, not just what their next one can be, also locations where they can build them as well. I'll also go through the comments and see what you guys think. This is an open discussion, so share a comment either on here if you're happening to watch later, or if you're watching later after this is uploaded, shoot a comment below and I'll be reading them. Alright. The first thing, so if you hear, I'm watching a basketball game right now. I'm watching Florida State and the Dirty Birds. Just so you know, it's on in the background. So, but anyway, let's get into this topic here. Kings Island is a theme park located in Mason, Ohio, which is just outside of Cincinnati. It is my home park. I live just 5 minutes away. And let me say, I am super excited about the future of the park. So before we get into what they can do in the future, let's look at the last 5 years. Let's look at the last 5 years.
Scored in double figures in all 11 games he's played for Louisville.
Let's look at the last 5 years. This year, in 2021, they are putting in Camp Cedar. And that is their main addition, Camp Cedar. 2021, they are doing Camp Cedar, which is going to be located, if I can get on Google Maps here, right here, Camp Cedar will be located, if I can get this thing to load, because this internet is complete garbage, if I can get this thing to load, Camp Cedar. You can see, I think it's, I live area. Here's McDonald. It's going to be located back here, in this area back here. This is all. It's all been cleared, and it's going to be a campground, but no tent camping. It's going to be like an RV resort. It's going to be back here, Camp Cedar. That's what's coming in 2021. All right.
So, what should we do today?
All right, and then in 2020, 2020, we saw the addition of Owen and the new Area 72. And then in 2019, we saw Kings Mills Antique Autos, along with International Street Upgrades. So that's what we saw. International Street Upgrades. But we also saw the addition of Grand Carnival that year. And then in 2018, we saw Coney Barbecue. We saw Coney Barbecue, which is, in my opinion, my favorite place to eat in the park. And then in 2017, we saw Mystic Timbers and Winterfest. And let me say, the last 5 years were a pretty good. We're pretty good to the park, and I cannot wait for the future. Cannot wait for the future of Kings Island. I'm super excited for the future of the park. All right, let's get started. Let's get started with the next 5 years. For the next 5 years. Starting off with 2022, I think that'll be the year we will see a return to normal operations. That'll be the year of return to normal operations. And as you know, the 2020 season, and very likely this season, are going to be affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, which means there's going to be a lot of and that means there's going to be we're going to have the protocols like wearing masks, social distancing, the temperature checks, all that. 2022 is when I expect to see us at least to return to normal operations. And another thing for 2022 is it's going to be the park's 50th anniversary. So I expect for the 50th anniversary, 50th anniversary, we're going to see some sort of celebration for the park in 2022. Like, if you've seen what Cedar Point is supposed to be doing this year, what we were going to do last year, it's going to be some sort of celebration. But I think there's more that I'm predicting here. I think we're going to see a new ride. Now, it's going to be a coaster. I know some people like to say that we'll maybe see a coaster for the anniversary. However, that's not possible. However, there is one thing I think would be perfect for a big anniversary like this, and that is to bring back a former attraction. Now, what former attraction? Now, let's be realistic here. It won't be Son of Beasts. That is not a realistic attraction to bring back. But I think, but you know, Mike Kuntz said that bringing back the antique cars was due to a lot of guest feedback on what ride they want to bring back. And recently, we've been seeing a lot of complaints about the dark ride Boo Blasters. And I can see why. I actually worked Boo Blasters this past year, and let me say, it's not really that much of dark ride. It's just a dark building with black light and cardboard cutouts. What I think they should do is, instead of doing re-theming it into a Peanuts theme dark ride, I think what they should do is take the Boo Blasters as it is now and like redo it into a new version of Phantom Theater, which was a former attraction that was in that building, and it's actually one of the most well-known past attractions, and a lot of people want it back. Now, it won't be exactly like it was before. It had animatronics and all that. What I think they should do is do like a new dark ride based around Phantom Theater, using maybe projection screens of the old scenes and maybe some animatronics, but I don't know. But I think Boo Blaster should get an upgrade to a new version of Phantom Theater. within the next 5 years. But I think I put 2022 as that time for that. All right. I think for 2023, we are going to see Planet Snoopy get upgraded and turned into...
Why is that so effective? Because now you've got a big vision of the rim going to your right or to your left. Very determined.
I think we'll see it turned into Camp Snoopy. Bunch of parks in the Cedar Fair chain has turned their Planet Snoopy kids areas into Camp Snoopy. We saw that with Carowinds, Michigan's Adventure, all that. I think Kings Island should do something very similar to that. I think they should do something similar to that. In turn, retheme some of the rides into a more camp theme. I think it'd be perfect in the kids area. I definitely think Planet Snoopy will get some sort of upgrade in the next 5 years. Maybe we'll see a new ride or so, but I think it'll mainly just be an upgrade, like in theme and all that, kind of like what they did in 2010 when they turned Nickelodeon Universe into Planet Snoopy. All right, 2024. If you count Windseeker as a thrilling flat ride, then by 2024 it will have been a long time. Then we haven't gotten a new flat ride since 2011. But if you don't, the last time we got a new flat ride was in 2003 with the addition of Delirium.
Thanks again for rushing over.
This is what 24/7 protection looks like.
So I think this time is when we should expect a new flat ride. Now, what kind of flat ride? I think what we'll do is add a new S&S Scream and Swing in Action Zone. Now, I will show you where they can put it, and it will require taking out a current ride in Action Zone that has been rumored to leave for a while now. Here, I'll show you on Google Maps here. I think, if I can get back to the park here, I think a Scream and Swing would work very well in Congo Falls plot of land. What they could do is they could keep this area here. They could tear down the ride, but keep it so where they can have still water running here. Maybe a water fountain, and have the Scream and swing over the water. I think that'd be very cool. They could give it like a medieval theme. It'd be very nice. So that's what I think they should do for 2024. And you may have noticed that I haven't done a coaster yet. This will have been 4 years since Orion, and if you would have asked me a while back, when I would see the next coaster, 2024 would have been the latest, I would have said. But with COVID and Cedar Fair saying that they have no immediate plan, like contracts in place for long term, I think 2024 would be is the soonest. However, we are getting to new coasters, so 2024, if we see a new Scream and Swing, I think for the forums and the theme park media world, 2024 will be focused on new construction going on in the park. And that's where we get to 2025. That's where we get to 2020. 2025 is when I think we will see a new coaster of some sort. Now, when we say new coaster, we'll immediately think in terms of locations. You'll immediately probably jump to the conclusion, immediately think of the former plot of land where Vortex sat. Right here, that is a plenty of space for a new coaster. Definitely see a new coaster going here. However, is that the only place they could do it? Is that the only place they could do a new coaster next? I say no. I say it doesn't necessarily have to go here. Like, I've always thought about maybe even that you could tear down the old Tomb Raider building and build a new coaster through the woods between Diamondback and the Beast. However, that would kind of take away from the Beast's seclusion. So I don't know how likely that is, but they could. I've also thought about you could also take down Invertigo, Timberwolf, and do a coaster near the front of the park. Or I would hate to see this, but you could the Bat's days could be numbered, so we could see the removal of the Bat and have a new coaster back here. I think that, to be honest, in terms of coasters, this area back here would be probably the best place for a ground-up RMC or Gravity Group wood coaster or hybrid. You could put it here, and you also have a lot of the land left over from Son of Beast, which still the Rose Bowl's still on here on Son of Beast, but you could use all this land back here. In terms of putting a new coaster up here, you could do like a wing coaster at the front, maybe a floorless or a flyer, like a B&M of some sort. Up here near the front gate, you can see a front gate upgrade. We could do some sort of front gate upgrade. I don't see them tearing down the front gate building, but maybe upgrading the exterior, some new ticket windows and all that. And then there's another plot of land that's not really talked about enough, in my opinion. And that's this area between Planet Snoopy, Rivertown, and Soak City. We'll be getting to Soak City in just a moment, but I think this area could definitely work for a new coaster if they wanted to maybe add a new area and maybe encourage more people to walk to Soak City. Maybe add something on the walk back to Soak City. Like, you got the Picnic Grove back here in the old kids theater. However, they're not going to put a thrill coaster. If they tear down the kids theater and use this area, it'll be for a new coaster in Camp Snoopy. But if they just wanted to do something back here, they could make like a new themed area back here or something with some new coaster back here. This, in terms of likely locations, this is definitely the least likely out of the ones I've said, but I definitely wouldn't rule out something going here at some point. However, they would have to relocate the Picnic Grove because Picnic Grove is used. So they'll have to probably have to relocate it somewhere. Now, for a coaster that could fit here, I could definitely see a ground-up wooden coaster by Gravity Group or RMC. They could also do an intimate multi-launch here. They could probably do anything. Now, in terms of the Vortex plot, a lot of people talk about a mock multi-launch like Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. I could definitely see that. A ground-up RMC in the style of Wildfire, Comaldrin would work very well here. I also just saw this video of a new generation of Vekoma, which isn't talked about enough. I know Vekoma's not like, when you think Vekoma in the theme park industry, you don't really think good things. You think of the SLCs and boomerangs, but let me say, those newer Vekomas look incredible. Look at Abyssisco into Energia or Let Coaster at Legendia, all that. Like, those coasters look incredible, and I think it's a matter of when, not if, a new Vekoma makes its way to North America, let alone the Cedar Fair chain. And plus, those coasters are a lot cheaper than your B&Ms or Mocks, so I could definitely see that. Gerstlauer Infinity in the style of Hangtime or Monster would definitely work very well here. But I've also thought of maybe an intimate multi-launch in the style of Velocicoaster going to Universal. It would also work very, very well here. There's a lot you can do at this park, and it's only And it probably won't be until we start seeing blueprints filed to the city of Mason to where we can start narrowing down what they could do next. There's a lot of options that they can do next at this park. Anyway, I know this was a long one, but hear me out. I definitely think these areas that I mentioned will be used by a coaster at some point in the future. Not so sure about this area. That's definitely kind of an oddball to me, but I think, as well as this area, but I think they could definitely fit a coaster or some sort of attraction in the somewhere like down the road. Anyways, let's go back to, all right, now let's move on to our last prediction of our 5 years, which is 2026. I think this will be the year that we'll see something in the water park in Soak City, but not just adding a new attraction. I think we're going to see Soak City renamed. Yes, it was renamed to Soak City back in 2012 from Boomerang Bay, but I think we're going to see Soak City renamed in the next 5 years into something that could fit the surrounding area. Look at CGA with South Bay Shores, or Cedar Point with Cedar Point Shores, or something along those lines. I think we'll see something along the lines of, I think we'll see Soak City be renamed to something along the lines of Great Miami Shores. I think that would be a nice name that would work well with the Little Miami and Great Miami River nearby. That would definitely work well with the area. And in terms of new attractions that they could add in there, I think a water coaster could work, but that might be a little too big because it's coming after like a year after a new coaster was built. Some new slide complex could work. They can do a lot. In terms of location in Soak City, definitely back here is definitely in need of something. Like back here by the family raft slide back here, they could definitely do something back here near the lazy river and the family raft slide. The days of this could be numbered, so they could probably someday remove it. So I'm not so sure, but they could definitely replace it with something. They could even replace Paradise Plunge with something new. They can do multiple things here. But I definitely think in the next 5 years, Soak City will get some sort of upgrade in the next 5 years. So that is how I think the next 5 years of this island will go. I think so. Let's go ahead and do a recap of the next 5 years. 2022, the 50th, a return to normal operations and a 50th anniversary celebration, along with the return of Phantom Theater. 2023 is Planet Snoopy rethemed into Camp Snoopy. Then 2024 is an SNS Scream and Swing in Congo Falls plot of land. 2025 is a new coaster of some sort. And then 2026 is Soak City upgraded into Great Miami Shores. Something along those lines. It doesn't have to be named that, but that is how my next 5 years will work at how I think the next 5 years could look at Kings Island. So tell me what you guys think here in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching here, and I will see you guys next time.